welcome back. Great to see ya. Happy you're here. For those of you who don't know, my name is Becca, and I just like to talk about things that make me happy, whether that's anime or books or movies or video games and so much more. I just like to talk about things that I have interests in, that make me smile, bring me joy, and hopefully they also bring you joy too, because that's what we're trying to do here. Just have a good time. One of the things that I have been obsessed with recently is the anime Demon Slayer, in particular the newest season, the Hashira training arc. For those of you who don't know, Demon Slayer follows a young boy named Tanjiro Kamado as he joins the Demon Slayer Corps, becomes a Demon Slayer himself, and protects his sister Nezuko, who has unfortunately been turned into a demon. Nezuko is special, however, than other demons, as other demons crave to feed on humans. Nezuko doesn't. And Tanjiro tries to figure out how he can get Nezuko to not be a demon anymore and defeat the leader of all the demons, Muzan Kibutsushi. Tanjiro has help though from his friends Inosuke and Zenitsu, and they travel around defeating demons and training themselves to become better so that they can defeat Muzan. They also get help from all of the Hashiras in the Demon Slayer Corps. And this particular season of Demon Slayer, the Hashiras, the highest ranked in the Demon Slayer Corps, they will be training the Demon Slayer Corps members themselves to get ready to defeat Muzan himself. Also, the very skilled demons, the upper rank, they will be defeating them as well. So that's why they gotta go train. They gotta beat him. They gotta finish this. They gotta wipe out the rest of the demons. This is their final assault. They want to get at them. Let's train. I love a nice training arc, so I was excited for this season. Now, in the very last episode, so spoilers if you haven't seen it, in the very last episode of this season, Muzan comes to the Demon Slayer Corps, and all of the Hashira and all of the Demon Slayers in the Corps, they end up falling into Muzan's Infinity Castle so that they can fight his demons and fight him and fight his upper rank demons, his little special demons. They all end up falling into this Infinity Castle trying to defeat him. And honestly, when they're falling into the Infinity Castle, all of them look like, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is a pretty intense. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, gonna get myself ready. Their faces all look like, I'm scared, I'm falling. Anticipation of having to fight all these demons. How many are there in this huge ass castle? I was just on land and now I'm in the ground in a castle and it's moving. What's going on? So when watching all of this falling in the Infinity Castle, it was pretty intense. It was intense animation going up into this. But the thing that shocked me the most about the falling into the Infinity Castle was watching Zenitsu fall. He looked incredibly focused, incredibly serious, and basically ready to fight. And that is different for Zenitsu. Usually we would expect Zenitsu to be screaming his head off in panic mode, or if this was him being so focused and ready to go, so serious, he would be, passed out. We've come to know this about Zenitsu. This is his thing. And I will say, I've read the manga, so I knew the path that Zenitsu was about to go down and what was going on emotionally for him. However, to see him looking so serious and seeing it physical in animation, it always makes it so much more emotional. And it really hit me when I was watching this part in the last season. So I thought today I'd talk about why this scene affected me so much and why going forward, Zenitsu and where he is right now in the Demon Slayer story really affected me emotionally when I was watching it, and I know will affect me in the future watching it as well. I mean, to be honest, the whole next arc of Demon Slayer, the whole 3 movies, which they're going to be doing 3 movies of Demon Slayer, are going to be super emotional for me. They're going to be intense. They're going to be crazy. So Zenitsu is like a part of that whole emotions that are going to be felt throughout the next arc of Demon Slayer. I'll definitely be an emotional mess watching it. But for now, we're going to talk about Zenitsu specifically. But before I go on, I just want to let you know, obviously there's going to be some spoilers. I'm not going to go into where he's going to be in the next couple arcs. There is something that happens in the next arc of Demon Slayer that I will touch on a little bit and will be a spoiler in this video. So if you haven't read the manga and don't want to see it, please feel free to pause this video, wait till the arc comes out, and then come back and we can have a discussion about why I'm so emotional about Zenitsu. I will let you know when the spoiler is going to be happening so you can skip forward in the video at that time. But yeah, just wanted to give you a spoiler warning, a little heads up. So here you go. And remember, if you like this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. Ta-ching! And if you want to subscribe, please feel free to do so, and we can, hang out like this more. It'd be fun. I think you're fun. Maybe I'm fun. I don't know. Well, it's fine. Thank you for your support. And now to talk about Zenitsu. Before I talk about why this scene made me a little bit emotional, let's just refresh our brains about Zenitsu. Who is he? What's going on with him? Just so that we know. Zenitsu, obviously a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. He's got yellow hair with a little bit of orange in there. It was originally black, but he climbed up a tree and it was struck by lightning, turning his hair this yellowy, orangey color. Out of all the Demon Slayer Corps members, Zenitsu is the only one without a crow. Zenitsu instead has his sweet little sparrow. We love him so much. He's such a sweet boy. Zenitsu's fighting style is thunder breathing, which he was taught by the former thunder breathing Hashira, which Zenitsu affectionately calls Gramps. Zenitsu has a lot of love and respect for Gramps, as Gramps did get him out of crippling debt that Zenitsu owed. Zenitsu always felt unworthy of the training that he got from Gramps. He was told that by one of Gramps' other students, which he was also teaching thunder breathing to. The other student felt that Zenitsu wasn't worthy of Gramps' teaching because he was always whining, he was always complaining, he never worked hard enough. And Gramps was a former Hashira. He deserved respect, and he didn't think that Zenitsu was giving Gramps the respect that he deserved by not trying hard enough. However, Gramps truly believed in Zenitsu. He believed in his skill, and he kept pushing Zenitsu to believe in himself as well. He would tell Zenitsu that through consistency in his practice, and if he pushed himself to try hard, he would do well. He even told Zenitsu that he didn't need to master all of the breathing styles of thunder breathing to be a good fighter. He just had to master one of them, which Zenitsu did. He mastered the first breathing style of thunder breathing, and Gramps just told him, just consistently practice this over and over and over again until it becomes natural to you, and you'll be okay. All in all, Gramps totally believes in Zenitsu, even when Zenitsu doesn't believe in himself. Gramps believed in him, and that affected Zenitsu greatly. It was core to him. He always had that to fall back on. Zenitsu is usually seen with his pals Tanjiro and Inosuke and Nezuko, which he has a deep, 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 deep devotion for. I mean, Zenitsu is always seen as a little obsessed with girls, a little bit obsessed with pretty girls. Zenitsu first meets Tanjiro when Tanjiro finds Zenitsu basically trying to convince this girl on the side of the road to marry him because he has to go off and slay demons, and he doesn't want to die without somebody being there to mourn him. He wants somebody to think about him after he dies, and so he feels like, I'll just marry someone and then that'll happen. And Zenitsu will get jealous, annoyed, and irritated if there is female attention, elsewhere on any of the other of his male companions. I mean, he was incredibly upset that Tengen had 3 wives. He was baffled. He couldn't believe it. He was so mad. As we've all come to know Zenitsu, it is evident that one of his most recognizable traits is that Zenitsu is a coward. As a demon slayer, he is the opposite of composed. He screams, he runs away, he panics, he's crazy, and he hides behind everyone when there is a demon. There is some understandableness to that. I mean, he is fighting demons, but there is a part of him that lacks faith in his abilities, and he doesn't have very much self-worth in how talented he actually is. And so that clouds his judgment, and elements of fear and cowardness, they come in instead of having faith in himself and fighting. However, in all of this, we do know that Zenitsu is quite strong, whether he believes it or not. And he always does access his abilities to defeat the demons. He's just not conscious when he does it. Whenever he is faced with a demon that he needs to defeat, there is a point in time when he reaches too much fear, too much panic, that he passes out, and then in this passed out, unconscious state, he is able to focus and defeat demons with his thunder breathing. It's actually always spectacular, and you really do see how powerful and how amazing at fighting Zenitsu actually is. He just doesn't believe it when he's awake. It's a continuous cycle that we see throughout the entire series, throughout the entire manga series with Zenitsu. This freaking out, passing out, fighting, freaking out, passing out, fighting, freaking out, passing out, fighting, and onward and onward and onward. The gang goes on a quest. They drag Zenitsu to the quest. They face the demons. Zenitsu screams, runs away, tries to get away any way possible, ends up having to defeat the demons, passed out, good to go, wakes back up. Why am I hurt? What happened to me? I don't know what's going on. Tanjiro, help me, help me, help me. Where's Nezuko? We've just come to expect this pattern from our yellow-haired boy. However, like I said at the beginning of this video, this all changes in the Infinity Castle. When Zenitsu falls into the Infinity Castle, we see him falling, and he is totally concentrated, totally serious, and looks like he's ready to go for battle. He's preparing himself to fight. And we also notice that he is 100% conscious. He's fully awake. There is no screaming. There is no panicking. This is totally different behavior. I mean, honestly, it looked super sick. He looked so cool falling throughout the Infinity Castle. I mean, for me, I really loved when Inosuke fell, and for the 0.2 seconds, he looked concerned, and then he was like, this will be fun! And then he like puts on his little boar hat and gets his little swords out, ready to go. But for Zenitsu falling, it did look really cool. A lot of people thought that too. They were excited for serious Zenitsu to show up. I also thought it looked cool. It was a really cool scene to watch, but I also felt super sad for Zenitsu in this moment. And yes, there is an element that I know if in the manga that things are about to change drastically. There's a lot of chaos coming up ahead. And yeah, that had to do with Zenitsu falling. Like, things are about to change drastically. There was also a reason that I felt really emotionally clicked in me as well. And I want to talk about it, but we have to understand why Zenitsu got to this point. And this is where the spoiler warning comes in. I just want to say that right now. Again, I'm not going to go fully into where Zenitsu goes in the next arc, but there is an element of the next arc that will be spoiled. But to understand where Zenitsu is at, I have to kind of go a little bit into that arc. So if you don't want to see it, that's totally fine. Thank you for watching so far. I really appreciate it. You can either skip to a little bit to the end, or if you don't want to spoil anything for yourself, that's a-okay. You can hit the pause here, watch the arc, then come back. We'll have a little talk. Okay? Without knowing the events that the manga shows and that the next arc will animate, we kind of already know that Zenitsu was affected the moment he got a letter delivered to him by his little sparrow. He read that letter. Something in that letter seriously affected him, that even in training, in the Hashira training arc, his whole demeanor changed. So much so that Tanjiro was worried about him and checked in on him, which Zenitsu responded, "No, Tanjiro, this is something I have to do on my own." So I'm going to talk about what was in the letter that made such an effect on Zenitsu. Remember that other student, the other one that Gramps had? He was out fighting demons. He ran into the upper rank one of the demons and surrendered to him, and now has turned into a demon, is fighting for Muzan, and has taken the place of the upper rank 6 that used to belong to, remember these siblings in the Entertainment District arc? They were the upper 6. In finding this out, Zenitsus Master, the former thunder-breathing Hashira, Gramps, he committed seppuku, as Tanjiro's former master also said that he would do if Nezuko hurt anyone. He would also do that, but the thunder-breathing master now is dead. And that hit Zenitsu hard. I mean, obviously it hit him hard. We can see his change in his demeanor. But this was the person that truly believed in him, that took him in when he had nothing, that trained him hard. Even when Zenitsu was like crawling away, kicking and screaming, the former thunder-breathing Hashira, his Gramps, the one that he loved dearly, this man is now dead because his other student, another person that Zenitsu looked up to, wanted to show that he was worthy of thunder breathing, of Gramps' training. That student betrayed Zenitsu and Gramps. Now all of these emotions are going through Zenitsu. Extreme sadness for losing them both, and also rage at the fact that this had to be Gramps' fate. All of these emotions now are propelling Zenitsu forward. He wants to bring justice to Gramps, and it's the reason why he's taking this so seriously. And that's all I'm going to say right now. There's definitely more that happens in the Infinity Castle, and when that arc shows up in the theaters, I will talk about it more. what's going to happen to Zenitsu in the Infinity Castle. And though I do love seeing Zenitsu take action, there is a reason why this scene was so emotional for me. Because it was sad to see serious Zenitsu. I truly loved panicky, scared, crazy, yelling all the time Zenitsu. Yeah, he was annoying at times. I will say that. He was annoying at times. But because for me, that was relatable. Being scared, being panicked, being fearful, and also the element that all underlies under all of that, which is having this lack of believing in yourself. On a serious note, his fear, I feel, is very justified. I'm sorry if you truly think that you wouldn't be scared at all if you met a demon in the middle of the night and you had to kill it with a little sword, and that was your job all the time, which is going out killing demons in the dark. Some of them, it might be easy. Some of them, it might not be easy. They might be terrifying and crazy, and they got magical powers, and sometimes they're freaking spider demons. What the heck? Spider demons in a freaking mountain. Him yelling and screaming, it was nice to see somebody in the show being afraid, okay? It made it a touch real for me. I know it's animated. I know it's not real. I get it, but still. But I also feel like this fear of doing something maybe outside of your abilities or outside of what you believe you could do can translate to the day-to-day life. I mean, sometimes life can be scary. Sometimes we have to do things in life that we don't feel that we're equipped to do. Or maybe we do have the abilities to do it, but again, we don't believe in ourselves enough to do those things. And so that fear holds us back from reaching our true potential. I mean, much of the fear for me day to day is deep-seated in that I do not believe in myself. I don't think that I can do things. And even trying those things seems impossible. The fear of failing before I even try or think about it sometimes can be paralyzing. But I think even in our fear, even if we don't believe it, we all do have courage. We are capable of great things, like Zenitsu. But sometimes that courage is underlining, and sometimes we have to be pushed to the limits in order for that courage to show up. But it's always there, ready for us when we need it. Yeah, we may not be fighting demons, going unconscious, and then using thunder breathing style to fight the demons. That might not be what we're actually doing in the day-to-day life. I mean, I'm not doing that. Maybe you are. But we are stronger than we think. It is okay to have fears, but we can't always let them control us. And we can't let them control what our potential could be. We can't let them overtake our sense of what's important to us, or let our fears take over and then we don't reach our goals in life. We can achieve them by working on ourselves each and every day, building our own confidence in our own way, in our own time. Nobody else's time, our own time. Finding good supportive friendships that will encourage you, build you up from your fears, and also truly find joy in what we love. What made me sad for Zenitsu in this particular moment was that Zenitsu was working on becoming better, in believing in himself. He was becoming more confident in his abilities and in himself, and he was starting to push himself more, even if he was still unconscious. What was sad for me was that he had to lose someone so important to him in order to be pushed further through his self-improvement. That's what pushed his seriousness into the consciousness of him. And I feel like that can be relatable in the day-to-day, right? Like we can be working on ourselves constantly, slowly, really building ourselves up, really trying to slowly push the limits of our fears and get a little bit outside of our comfort zones. And then something really big hits us in life that totally shifts us into making big leaps that we never thought we would have to make, and gaining courage when we thought we wouldn't have to do it that fast. I mean, you have to keep moving forward in life towards your goals. And these huge shifts can be painful, it can be tough, but you have to work through it. You have to keep moving forward. I think back on my life of huge events that have pushed me forward, pushed me to kind of bury my fears and kind of take huge steps in overcoming them because I had to in order to move forward, right? That was kind of the case for Zenitsu. This was a huge thing that happened in his life. Gramps meant everything to him, and all of the sadness of losing him and all of this rage of why Gramps had to die. I mean, he had that in his heart and he had to do something about it. This was the thing that pushed him into having confidence in himself and believing even what Gramps was telling him over and over again, that he was strong. He does this by preparing himself for battle and readying himself to take on the other student of Gramps in a battle for the justice of Gramps. That's just why when I saw the scene of Zenitsu falling in the Infinity Castle, it was super cool. I thought he was super awesome. I'm like, ah, what a cool boy. But it also made me incredibly sad because I've been there, Zenitsu, and it's hard. And I know what you're going through right now. Maybe not like, you know, frame by frame knowing what you're going through right now, but I've been there. Life comes and hits you, and you just have to go, okay, I guess we gotta move forward and work through this right now. But you do end up better on the other side. And I do believe that Zenitsu will find himself on the other side. Excited for Zenitsu to prove himself in the next arc. I'm not excited for the next arc of Demon Slayer. I mean, I am excited because I think it's gonna be so cool. There's gonna be a lot of really good animation I'm looking forward to seeing. I am not excited for reasons that I'm not gonna spoil anything. I think it's super smart that the Demon Slayer is gonna have 3 movies come. I'm really excited to go to the theater and experience a theater watching with a bunch of other people that really love Demon Slayer, and we can all like cheer and laugh and, I don't know, cry all together. So yeah, I'm really excited for that as well. I'm hyped for sure, but I'm also ready to cry. But for now, I'm gonna go back and rewatch the training arc because there was a lot of really sweet moments and I want to remember them in my brain because I love them. It's good to have some good times to remember and look back on. So I'm gonna look back on them now. But until next time, you got this. Bye! ねえ、こちゃん。